the ability for our mind to reflect consciousness, it's all there is. To the degree to which our mind reflects consciousness, that is the degree to which we are aware. So, in other words, anytime we put up a war, subtle, obvious, partisan, guerrilla, with our thoughts, we are doomed, because it's like you slay this thought, you abstract that, and they basically mobilize everything.
So my question is around like a loop of frustration that I've been in, and it comes up mostly in meditation, where I feel like I cannot really sink into meditation anymore. It's just a point, or sometimes it's just a certain state that I'm into where I know like I won't be able to go into meditation. It's kind of, and at the same time there's this inner resistance to listen to any outside guidance. When I listen to your guidances, something just closes up and doesn't follow, does its own thing, kind of, and I have a hard time focusing on my breath, and it's been like that for a few months now, and it's now I feel like just accompanied also by this sense of really helplessness and almost a sense of inferiority, of the sense of this is not for me, I'm not going to be able to do anything about this anymore. And it settles in very deeply, where everything kind of feels like this, everything that I kind of hit a wall against is accompanied by that sense of lack of not being able to overcome this. And I think my question is just how to navigate that. And
so, what do you think yourself? What, like, any hints, any premonitions, intuitions, sensing into it?
I think it's always been a pattern. And it's something that has come up more. This sense of inferiority, and it's
the sense of inferiority.
Yes.
And here, in particular, inferiority towards what?
It's like a general to other people, especially, but it's a general sense of like that leads me to that point of just giving up on something and going into a numb state. I don't know how to explain it.
No, I understand that. Yeah. I understand that.
And
so, is it like, because you started and you proceeded from in meditation, right? And now when I'm asking you what do you think yourself that this is connected to, then you see this, you recognize this as a kind of pattern maybe came to a fore, right? Trying to resolve itself. So, in meditation, now let's go back to that. In meditation, what does it feel like somatically, feeling like? What is it like? Can you just describe me as, using direct pointers, metaphor, doesn't matter. Just, can you describe me? What is it accompanied by?
It's a sense of constriction, a sense of often in the throat, or like when the pressure rises to the head and it stays there and I'm not able to. It's also this sense of not being, like no matter what I focus on, no matter where I send my attention to, it doesn't open up, nothing, yeah.
And that is at the beginning of entering meditation, right? In the earlier, like as we go into meditation.
It can sometimes also arise when, within meditation, when the mind kind of regains I'm often not even able to go beneath it, but I think there's just a general sense of confusion at this point where like I've tried to focus too much on the tiny details.
So what does it feel like?
It just feels like frustration, and then all of these
What are these?
thoughts, constructs start getting
up.
Yeah.
Rising.
Yeah.
As thoughts, right?
As thoughts.
And what do you do then?
They often just take over. I cannot. I try to. I think something in me has just given up. That's more the sense of like I don't at this point don't do anything. Before that I've tried to breathe into it and refocus on my breath, and but often it just takes over completely. And I've also tried to. I'm often also not able to go beneath. There's a lot of anger rising, but I can't go beneath.
What did you just say? A lot of
anger rising.
Rising. So.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm pulling it out. Frustration,
Yes.
right? Frustration, anger.
Yeah.
Can you give me more, please?
Yeah, jealousy definitely too.
Jealousy?
Yeah.
Anything else? Yes, and you did say the sense of inferiority, like the feeling of inferiority. Come on, give it to me. I'm storing it here, yes, piling it up.
Yeah, that I don't know, that my process is somehow less than also, I think, and
Less than what?
less than other people's processes maybe, and yeah, I don't know. There's just like it's very mental still. It hasn't always been like this, but for the past few months it's just been very at the surface level somehow again, and there's just this like doubt around where I'm at and what is actually happening and what's my role in all this, really, what's being asked of me at the moment. Yeah.
Okay, very good. Excellent. Very good. And good that you smile at it as well. That's good. Okay. So the thoughts rise on their own, and you feel they have power of their own, and they just take over, right? It is accompanied by frustration, anger, because you're unable to go deep. What kind of thoughts? Don't need to share them. These are unpleasant, neutral, pleasant, funny, hideous. What kind of thoughts? Is there pattern to these thoughts in terms of, let's say, their quality? Or it's so random that it sometimes it's just, what is it?
I think it's mostly the thought of, which comes back to this whole construct of identity of like really these patterns of anger and being unable to surrender to authority, and like how these are really like make me a bit doomed in a way. And I think, yeah, that is really the main one around it. How like.
So will you call these thoughts neutral, Positive? Negative? Are they pleasant to you?
No.
Do you enjoy
very
them?
Negative.
No? You sure?
Yeah, maybe I do.
No, no.
I mean,
no, don't. I'm not
they
putting
are.
you like that.
Yeah.
Like I'm being just.
No, I think
remain
at this
true.
point they are genuinely unpleasant,
Genuinely
and
unpleasant,
they
and
make me feel
Okay.
very stuck.
All right.
With myself.
Okay, that's good. It's good. So we kind of getting like, just we need to get some, like just to get that little bit like under, there's just a little bit, just a little, that's just a little space to put that, So surrender to authority. Which authority? Whom are you worried unable to surrender?
I mean, you, but also like any divinity within meditation, just being able to let go. There's just something is there that is very strong in, and and that makes me a bit afraid of like what that means for me.
All right. Let's simply try something else. Okay? Let's try something else simply. And this is perfectly in line with how, in the given, let's say, lieu of work, we should be able to work with absolutely everything. Okay? So, since thought process takes over anyway, right? Because that's the situation. So the thoughts take over. So in other words, instead of meditating, you are sitting and thinking there. Correct? So since you're already thinking, and there is a great also connection between what reinforces the thinking. And what reinforces the thinking is anything that tries to abstract thought. Okay? What tries to abstract thinking. This is, I don't know what could be called that in quicksilver here, in the effect of quicksilver, or whatever clever word we use here, in modern language, scientifically borrowed or something. But bottom line is that our mind is all we have. Our mind is all we have. And not only that, you have heard this us speaking about of the importance of the mind, what mind is. So in this work, we don't bash the mind. We don't banish the mind. Why? Because mind is, to begin with, even if we to go by one of the supreme scriptures of Tantrism, the Shiva Sutras, states, Manas Chaitanya, mind is consciousness. Mind is consciousness. So the ability of our mind to reflect consciousness, it's all there is. The ability for our mind to reflect consciousness, it's all there is. To the degree to which our mind reflects consciousness, that is the degree to which we are aware. So, in other words, anytime we put up a war, subtle, obvious, partisan, guerrilla, with our thoughts, we are doomed, because it's like you slay this thought, you abstract that, and they basically mobilize everything. Just like we earlier talked about, right? Not earlier, yesterday, right? Remember? Relax, And then the whole message goes down and everyone starts getting busy to make sure that the mind relaxes now, or whatever, right? So in the same way here, you abstract the thoughts, 10 come, all equipped, armed, full of force, really ready. A battle you cannot win. One battle we don't want to even lock our horns with. It's detrimental. So this is all ready. So what we'll try instead, Uda, is something in our next sitting tomorrow. So instead of not trying to think, instead of trying to circumvene, go around it, focusing on breathing, you will have the license to think, okay? But you will be invited to think the sweetest thoughts, what gives you the ultimate pleasure. Whatever is that, sky is the limit. Go as sweet or as naughty as you wish, okay? Just go for it, girl. It's all yours, okay? And that would be your entrance into meditation, okay? So, because you think anyway. So let's think, but let's produce the effect and the impact which has sweet taste to it, okay? And let's see what happens. Did you get it? Do you understand what I'm suggesting you here, instructing you?
I do.
And you don't need to surrender to anyone. You don't need to surrender to me. This is not required. In fact, it's a very strange idea because surrender is a spontaneous thing. We can't surrender on the request. You woman, you know that. It relates to everything, you see? So, in other words, a very different approach, okay? So, when we all sit down, you go into that, whatever thought, a mere thinking about it gives you delectable, delightful, pleasing, pleasant sensations, okay? This is Tantra. This is not religion. This is not do's and don'ts. We utilize every nook and cranny. And if in this case, we're going to go in and revel into the madhu taste of honey, why not? Okay? And see what is happening, and then maybe we'll take it from there, okay? But otherwise, I got all the guys here, all this stuff, right? That what you mentioned, it's all here. I'm going to take it with me out of this room. Okay, so thank you for placing it here, okay? The jealousy, the sense of inadequacy, inferiority, what else was anger, right? Frustration, stay here, don't move. All of them here, okay? When I go, I'm going to put them up, wrap it up here, go and give them a good brushing outside there. So stop messing around, go and find something else to do. Okay?
Thank you.
You're most welcome.